Hi everybody, this is Ramona from the Healing Grapevine, and I'm really hot on the topic about GMOs and Proposition 37, and I was in Quora and I found the question, why do people think eating genetically modified organisms is bad for you? Well, as a mom with kids, this has been a really important thing for me to discover, research, and understand fully. So I've been writing several articles and blog posts about what are GMOs, GMO foods, GM seeds. And basically, let's just start a moment with the idea about genetically modified organisms when used in foods, GM foods or biotech foods, are derived from genetically modified organisms. And these crops there's many of them already we're eating and have been since the 1990s. Corn, potatoes, soy, sugar beets, these are some of the more popular ones. And a GMO has had specific changes introduced into their DNA by genetic engineering techniques. In the biotech industry, the idea that we need to feed the world and how to mass produce food, it's an altruistic and fantastic idea. But what's happening is they're saying that these foods are identical to what we would find in nature, that there's absolutely no difference physically, and that they are a natural food that we should be able to consume without any kind of health hazard. However, if you pop over to PubMed, for example, you will find reports, and this is just one. This one was finding pesticides associated to genetically modified foods in the maternal and fetal tissues in moms and babes in Canada who were eating foods and having these pesticides stored in their tissues. And we already know that we carry a lot of body burdens and that mothers pass these on to their newborn children, and it's accumulating over time. So now we're introducing genetically modified foods and the health hazards and risks that they might be carrying. And the thing is like globally, we're behind the eight ball. Already there are over 20 countries who are either banning GMO foods, GM seeds, or requiring that they be labeled. You've got it in Africa, Asia, and Europe. It's a significant list, and even in the Middle East. So we're really the ones who are behind the eight ball about saying, wait a minute, we need to understand this better before we continue saying that these are safe and healthy for us. And finally, the thing that really kind of brought me to the question of, if these foods are really safe to consume, then why is it that right now in California on November 6th, there's a ballot called the Proposition 37 ballot, which is going to require the labeling of food products made from genetically modified organisms. And it's also going to say that these food companies or these products are not allowed to use the word natural on their label. So if these companies who produce the genetically modified food say, oh no, they're perfectly fine for you, there's no harm, there's no risk, why have they spent $44.4 million to oppose Proposition 37? This question makes me go, wait a minute, that's fishy, if you will. So, you can see the list over here of the folks who are saying yes to Proposition 37. Yes, we demand knowing. Let us as consumers know what we're eating and make that decision for ourselves. It is our right to know. Companies like Monsanto, DuPont, Pepsi-Cola, Syngenta, Dow, these are big chemical companies. You can expect that they would be on the list saying, no, we don't want you to know what's in the food. But something else I found really interesting was in my notes here that many of these companies are starting to buy up our very popular health food products. Naked Juice got sued for false labeling. They're owned by Pepsi-Cola. Coca-Cola now owns Odwalla and Simply Orange. Morningstar, Garden Burger, and Kashi are owned by Kellogg. Kashi got sued, as you saw last year, for false labeling. And the one that makes my heart kind of break here is Cascadian Farms, Lara Bar. These are some very favorites and tried and true natural health products that I expected to stay congruent with no GMO and organic labeling. They're now owned by General Mills, and they have put a lot of money into trying to defeat Proposition 37. So there's my big question. If these foods are safe, why are these companies spending this kind of money to try and bring that bill down and not let us as consumers make this decision for ourselves? Well, that's all I have to say about that for now. And just remember that you heard it on the grapevine.